Shloka number 18. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Shuni Chaiva Shwapake Cha Pandita Samadarshinaha. So in this shloka, he said that he is talking about the Atma Jnana Swarupa or the Lakshanam of Atma Jnana. And the person who has realized this Atma Jnana, how he will see this world. So they say that Samadarshinaha. Samadarshinaha means see with equal vision is the meaning for it. Sama also means Brahman or Brahmadarshinaha. So because he doesn't say that with the senses you shouldn't see the objects as different. If the objects are of different colors, you should see it differently. If there is a cat and a dog, you will see it as two different things. The point is not that. The point is that you will have like two types of vision in your intellect. One we said is the Pratiti Drishti, which is giving importance to the Nama and the Rupa, the name and the form. The Nama is a name and the Rupa is a form. And another Drishti is the Swarupa Drishti. That means you are giving importance to the foundation of it. Like we saw some examples, like if there is a gold ornament, if you are attached to the design of it, brand of it, whether it is Tanishq or something like that, you're seeing it with Pratiti Drishti. But if you are seeing it only as gold, then you are seeing it as Swarupa Drishti. So that is basically the simplified version. It is if you see that everybody is actually this Brahman. When you're seeing it with a different eyes. Oh, this person is like this, she's tall, she's short. Like that, when you are seeing, you are differentiating, is because you are seeing with this Pratiti Drishti. But the basis of why all the bad things are happening in this world is most of the people have only this outward level of seeing things. But if you have the inward level of seeing, which is a Swarupa Drishti, you will see that everything is this Brahman, everybody is Brahman. The whole prapancham of the world, we know they are made of the three gunas, the Sattvam, the Rajas and the Tamas, which is also called the Maya. And then these are being projected onto the Brahman. So that is the essence of what is happening. But we only see the projection. We are not seeing the underlying truth in it. So the Jnani knows that there is Nama Rupa, but knows the basis of all the Nama Rupa is a Brahmanal. So what was said was Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane. So they are talking about this Brahman who is very educated. He is not only educated, he is very humble also. And they are talking about a cow, Gavi, and then Hastini, an elephant, a Shuni, a dog, 𝐂𝐍𝐋𝐈𝐴, certainly, and Shwapake, a dog eater. So all these five people are being talked about: the Brahmin, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater. But the person who is a Panditaha, who is the Jnani, what he does is he sees everything with the Samadarshinaha. He has got the equal vision. Equal vision meaning the underlying thing is the Brahman. Like that, he has the vision all the time. So that's why his attitude will be different compared to people only seeing the name and the form. So that is the meaning of the shloka. And we also saw the reference to the shloka where we said in the last session that the story is that Adi Shankaracharya, he is in Benares and he encounters a Chandala. So the Chandala is a person who deals with the disposal of the corpse. So in those days, how like the sannyasis are very pure people, nobody should touch them and all. So so he or his disciples, they say Gacha Gacha to this Chandala. Gacha Gacha means go away, like that. So this Chandala, who happens to be an incarnation of Shiva himself, he asks this, Annamayat Annamayam Athava Chaitanyameva Chaitanyat. That means he asked Adi Shankaracharya, okay, you are asking me to go away. What are you asking me? Which part are you saying? That Chaitanya, that is a pure consciousness, my consciousness should go away from your consciousness, which is not possible. Consciousness is everywhere and it doesn't go from place to place. Or are you asking my body, which is made up of the 5 elements? Your body is also made of the same 5 elements. So what are you implying? So at that time, Adi Shankaracharya realizes that it is God himself who has come in this form, and then he composes this Manisha Panchaka. Manisha Panchaka means the knowledge or the vision. So he gives the 5 stanzas about the reality of existence. And then he says, whether you are a Chandala or you are a great learned Brahmin, you are my Guru. This is my strong conviction. Ityesha Manisha Mama. That is, he will say that this is my conviction that you are a Guru. And the examples given are very beautiful. The one example will be given is there is the sun shining in the Ganges and the sun shining in a dirty place, like a sewage. Is the sun being affected by anything? No. The sun is shining in both the places. Just like that, the Brahman is there everywhere. We see it as Ganges, we see it as a dirty water. That is our eyes that see it different. But the sun does not see any difference. And another example given is there is a air in a golden pot and there is air in the mud pot. So is it making any difference? No. Just the container is different, that's all. But the air will be there wherever it is. The space, it is not contaminated by anything. So the general translation is, the truly learned with eyes of divine knowledge see with equal vision a Brahmin, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater. Shloka number 19. 𝐓𝐑𝐀𝐀𝐀𝐆𝐋𝐷 येषां साम्ये स्थितं मनः निर्दोषं हि समं ब्रह्म तस्माद् ब्रह्मणि ते स्थिताः. He is giving the palan of the samadrishti. What is the palan of this samadrishti is that the person, he will be a Jivan Mukta. The realization is not in some other place or after you die, like that it is not promised. Here itself, in this very moment, you can realize. So that person, when he is living, when he realizes, he is called the Jivan Mukta. For that person, after he dies, he will not have a body. That means videha mukti, that is called. So it will be one with the Brahman. So this is the palan of this jnana, of this samadrishti. And then he says that this person is established in the equality of the vision. He will conquer the cycle of birth and death. That is what they will see in the meaning. Because why? He was not attracted to the nama rupa. And the Jnani's mind and intellect was seeing with the equal vision or the samadrishti. And in the second line, he says, why this Jnani with so much difficulty, he will keep his mind on the Brahman? It is a very difficult path. Because nirdosham, the Brahman is said to be nirdosham. He is said to be flawless and sama. It is equal. And nirdosha also is nirdukha. There is no sorrow. Once you realize, it is Ananda Swarupa. So that is why this Jnani, even with a very difficulty, he keeps his mind on the Brahman because the Brahman is flawless. So that is the meaning of this shloka. We will see the individual meanings now. Iha eva, in this very life, taihi, those people whom we are talking, the Jnanis, who have Samadarshanam, jitaha, who they conquer, Sargaha, they conquer this birth and this death. Sargaha means they conquer this cycle. Yesham, so the whose samye. Samye means in equanimity. Sthitam manaha. They are situated, their mind is situated in this equanimity. In this lifetime only they are saying. In this very life they are conquering this cycle of this birth and death. Because they are situated in the Brahman. Why they are saying he is situated in the Brahman? Nirdosham, that Brahman is flawless. He certainly samam. It is in equality. Again, Brahman. Tasmat, therefore, Brahmani. So in the absolute truth, in Brahman only, te stitaha. They are seated or situated. So in the first line, they are talking about the palam of the Samadarshanam or the Brahma Darshanam, is that they will conquer here itself in this very lifetime the cycle of birth and death. And the second line, it is given the reason for why they will be in this truth or in this Brahman is because the Brahman is nirdosham, it is flawless. We also said it is nirdukam. and it is sama, it is in equality. And therefore, they are situated in this Brahman. So the general translation becomes, those whose minds are established in equality of vision conquer the cycle of birth and death in this very life. They possess the flawless qualities of God and are therefore seated in the absolute truth. First in 18, he talked about the person having the samadrishti. Then we have talked about what is the phalan or what is the fruit of being situated in the drishti and why that person will be situated there. In this shloka, he is going to say that what is the quality of this person continuously staying in the state or in being in Brahmanishta. How does he act like that? Similar to Sthita Prajna Lakshanam only, like Na prahrishyet priyam prapya No dvijet prapya cha priyam Sthira buddhira sammudaha Brahmavid brahmani sthitaha. So he says that Na prahrishyet, neither he rejoices. Prahrishyet means rejoice. Priyam prapya. So he does not rejoice when he will see something very pleasant. And then nodvijet, na udvijet, he does not become disturbed. In what? Prapya cha apriyam. So when he gets something unpleasant, he is not disturbed. And then sthira buddhi asammudaha. Sthira buddhi, he has the steady intellect. Asammudaha, he is not in this moha delusion, or he is firmly situated. Brahmavid, he has the understanding of this Brahman or the divine knowledge. Brahmani stitaha, so he is established in the Brahman. So the general translation is established in the Brahman, having a firm understanding of this divine knowledge of the Brahman and not hampered by delusion. He neither rejoices in getting something pleasant nor grieves on experiencing the unpleasant. So this is very, very similar to the Sthita Prajna Lakshana that we have seen in the second chapter. Dukkeshu anuvignamanaha sukeshu vigataspruhaha vitaraga bhayakrodaha stitadir muniruchyate. Shloka number 56 in chapter number 2, where he said that one's mind is not disturbed in either the miseries or the pleasures. Like that, he talked about the Sthita Prajna Lakshana. The same thing is being said here. So he is talking about the person in Brahmanishta. So you have realized this Brahman. Okay, this is the truth. Like that, he gets a realization. But this person has to be continuously be in this Brahmanishta, which is a practice. Like he has to be established in this truth. Not when he is closing the eyes, when he sees the world, inside and outside. When he is inside also, he has realized when he is outside in the world, he will see everything as the Brahman itself. That is Brahmanishta. So this person who is established in Brahmanishta, how he behaves, he is not affected by external circumstances. Then example is given of King Janaka, who was a realized soul. What he said was, once Mithila was burning. So he said that whether Mithila burns or not, I am not affected. He will do everything to help the people, to sort out the things in the kingdom. But internally he is not affected because he has realized this truth. The person who is in Jnana Nishta, there is no condition for his happiness. That is, something pleasant should happen to me, or this misery should not happen to me. Like that, he does not have anything towards the happiness or the unpleasantness. That is the main quality of the Sthita Prajna, or the person established in this knowledge. So we have seen several shlokas in the Sthita Prajna Lakshana, Atmanyeva Atmana Tushtaha, where he will be just happy in himself, like that we have seen. So this is similar to those shlokas. Shloka number 21, 22, 23 are very important shlokas. Talks about the greatness or the mahima of Vairagya. Vairagya, we know it is the detachment. Bahya sparsheshva sattatma vindatyatmani yat sukham sabrahma yoga yuktatma sukhamakshayam ashnute. So here we said in 3 shlokas, 21 to 23, he is talking about the Mahima of Vairagya, why we need to have this Vairagya. He is going to say that only when you renounce the external objects, you will get the Atma Sukha. It is not a two-way process. Like I want this also, I want to enjoy the worldly things, and I also want to go in this path of self-realization. That is not possible. Third chapter also we say that only one path is possible. Why only one path is possible? Two things are there, Shreyas and Preyas. In Kathopanishad, when Nachiketas talks to Yamadharmaraja, talks about two things, the Shreyas and the Preyas. The Shreyas is the ultimate good. What is the self-realization? It leads to the ultimate good. And this Preyas is all the pleasures, that intermittent happiness that we experience. So both cannot be enjoyed at the same time. Paranchikani vyatrinat swayambhuhu. That means, like we said, okay, why is it that I am experiencing all these things, running towards all these things? The God has created the senses to be outgoing. Therefore, one sees outside and not the Atman within. So if you are outside, you cannot see inside. If you are inside, you will not see outside. Like that only it is. It's not like two-way. So some intelligent man with his senses turned away from their objects, desirous of immortality, sees the Atman within. So this is from Kathopanishad. So the essence of this is, we cannot do both. Why? Because when you have to enjoy something with your eyes, then you will have to put your attachment in the eyes. If the pleasure has to come through the sense organs, that means you are attached to the body. So to go in the path of this spirituality, to do the realization, you have to be detached from your body, the sense organs and all. So till the time you continue to enjoy and derive pleasures in the body and the mind, etc., you will not be able to detach. So that is the reason they have given. We are envious of people who have everything. If there are people who are rich, who have all the pleasures in their life, we are very envious of that. But actually the contrary only is correct. According to our spirituality, the person who renounces more gets more happiness. More than you eating 5 ice creams, if you have given that to somebody, that pleasure is more, then you have consumed everything. That is what is being told in the scriptures. A very beautiful composition, Adi Shankaracharya, Kaupina Panchakam. He talks about the sannyasi. Kaupina meaning the loin cloth. He has nothing. He has one begging bowl and he just has one cloth to wear. So that person, he says, Kaupina vantaha khalubhagya vantaha. He says, blessed is this person with just the loin cloth. Again, he has 5 stanzas to describe. And he will say, Swananda bhave paritushti mantaha sushanti sarvendriya vritti mantaha aharnisham brahma sukhe ramantaha kaupinamantaha khalubhagyavantaha. Basically, what it means is satisfied fully in the bliss within, curbing wholly the cravings of the senses, delighting day and night in the bliss of the Brahman. Blessed indeed is the wearer of the loincloth. Like that person is only blessed, not the person who is enjoying everything in this world. That is the viewpoint. We think that enjoying food, buying clothes, and all these things we get happiness, but actually the contrary is true. This is what our Shastra says. Upanishad will say that whatever happiness you get by your sense pleasures, try to give that up, and you will get 100 times more pleasure in giving it up rather than in enjoying it. So this is the essence of the shloka. Okay, Bahya Sparsheshu. So Bahya Sparsheshu means from the external sense pleasures. Asaktatma, the person who is unattached. He is unattached from the sensual pleasures. Vindati Atmani Yat Sukham. Vindati, he will find Atmani in his self, Yat Sukham, that Sukham or that bliss. Saha, that person, Brahma Yoga Yuktatma, that person is united with the Brahman. Sukham, Akshayam Ashnute. Sukham meaning he is having the happiness, Akshayam, unlimited, Ashnute, experiences. We are only experiencing a minuscule of the happiness of the Brahman. This itself, we are going gaga over it. Imagine if you experience the happiness, get to the point of realization. That's what they want to say. So the one who is not attached to the external sense pleasures realize divine bliss in the self. Being united with Brahman, they experience unending happiness. So here they talked about the Vairagya, or the way to get the detachment. Happiness is not lying in all these things. So that point has to be again and again looked at. So shloka number 22, again continuation of the same topic about Vairagya. ये हि संस्पर्शजा भोगाः दुःखयोनय एव ते आद्यन्तवन्तः कौन्तेय न तेषु रमते बुधः. It is given only bhoga, but we will add bhogaha. He is talking about the swarupam of the external vishaya or the external happinesses. This shloka is about like how to get vairagya. We are going to see the what are the doshas or the faults of this external happiness. So what are the faults of this happiness? First is kshanikam. Kshanikam means it will last only for a second or a very small amount of time. Like imagine you want to go and eat food in the best of restaurants, you plan, you go there, you come back after some time, that is gone, that effect is gone. So anything will only be temporary or you get used to it. Suppose you want to buy an object, you dream about it, you buy that phone, for example. Then after 2 days, you will be admiring that phone, you will be very happy. After 2 days, you get used to it. Then now you have to look for the other object, next object. What is the next upgrade? So everything in this world will be like this. We don't actually analyze it, but everything it will lose its luster after just some time. That is the first point. And then second point is it is dukkha yoni. In this shloka itself it is given. All this is a cause of the sorrow you are experiencing. Like if you say that a person is well off and then he retires, suppose. For him, it will be more difficult to cope than where a person was in, say, suppose in a slum or something. For him, there will not be any effect. A person who was earning a lot of money, he was a CEO, for example, he lost his job suddenly. He will have more of effect than a person who was, say, earning 10,000 rupees a month. So actually, that is a cause of the misery. Dukkha yoni. Anything external that appears really great at the moment, the position or the power or whatever, the salary or whatever looks very nice, there is a big chance it will lead to more sorrow because there is a very big chance of losing it. And the third is the bhayam. As we said, you are very scared, right? If you are in a very high paid job, you'll be more scared to lose the job than a person in the low paid job. If you had lot of gold and things, you're more scared of the robbers. Like that, everything will be connected with fear, a lot of fear. Fourth point is the jarayanti tejaha. That means as much as you enjoy with the external senses will get weak. If you are going to see a lot of movies, your eyes will get weak. If you are taxing one sense organ, that sense organ will get weak. And the fifth point is atriptikara. Nothing will totally give you any satisfaction. Continuously, you will be saying next. It is only giving like the kshanikam, we saw the first point. It only gave for a moment. After that, next. So it is fully or not satisfied with anything. So what were they? We will recap again. Kshanikam. It only lasts for a very small amount of time. Dukkha yoni. That means it is a cause of the sorrow or misery. And then it is bhayam. Bhayam, always these objects are linked to fear. And then jarayanti tejaha. The more you tax the senses, the more weak it will become. And atriptikara. It does not give you total satisfaction. So in this shloka, Krishna has only actually mentioned the first two, the kshanikam and the dukkha yoni. Rest of the things we have just added. So that is the nature of this external happiness. And the jnanis do not take the delight in this happiness. So basically, the way to see it is, nowadays luxuries are becoming the necessity. If you think that everything is a luxury, that is happiness. Even the body is a luxury. Like you think about small things as a luxury, then more and more happiness you will get. Instead of making all the luxuries as necessities, the other way, to see the necessities as luxuries. So we will see the meaning here. Yehi samsparshaja bhogaha. Yehi, which verily, samsparshaja. Samsparsha means being in contact, born of contact with the sense objects, basically. Ja, that is, it is born of. Bhogaha, these pleasures. Pleasures come only because of the contact with the sense objects. Dukkha yonaya evate. Dukkha yoni. Dukkha, misery. O yonayaha, it is a source of misery. Eva, verily, they are. So, Adyantavantah Kaunteya. Adyantavantah Kaunteya means they have a beginning and an end. All the pleasures, all the things we enjoy outside, they will have a beginning and they will have an end. Kaunteya, Arjuna, na teshu ramate buddha. So, na teshu, never teshu in those, ramate takes delight, buddha, the wise people. The wise people, therefore, they are not delighted with any of these things. So the general translation is, the pleasures that arise from contact with the sense objects, though appearing as enjoyable to the worldly minded people, are verily a source of misery. O Arjuna, such pleasures have a beginning and an end. So the wise do not delight in them. Shloka number 23 is also on the same topic. Shaknoti hayvaya sodhum prakharira vimokshanat kama krodhodbhavam vegam sayuktah sasukhi naraha. So here he talks about the one who is in moksha path. For him, the kama and krodha are supposed to be the biggest enemies. The kama and krodha, we will keep revising again and again. It has been said in many shlokas. The kama and krodha have to be removed. Here is talking about the force of the kama and krodha. That is to be removed. That's all he is saying in this shloka. You should bring the intensity of it down. Shaknoti is able, iha eva, in this present body, yaha, who, sodum, to withstand. What he is able to withstand? Prak, before, sharira vimokshana. So one who is able to withstand. Yogis who before giving up the body are able to do what? They are able to vimokshanat, giving up kamaha and krodha. Kama is the desire and the krodha is the anger. Udbhavam, generated from vegam. The intensity, the force, vegam or the force that they are able to give up. Saha, that person, yuktaha, he is the yogi. Saha, that person, sukhi naraha. So that person is the happy person. Basically, the general translation is, those persons are the yogis who before giving up the body are able to check the forces of desire and anger, and they alone are happy. There are a lot of shlokas for that. Shloka number 56 again. Dukkeshvanudvignamanaha sukeshu vigataspruhaha vita raga bhaya krodaha sthitadir muniruchyate. Shloka number 56 again, chapter 2. So where he says that you have to be vita raga bhaya krodha means you have to give away, not have the raga, the attachment, the bhaya, the fear and the krodha. So all these points will again and again be emphasized. Kama is a desire to attain an object. So there will be a force, there is a strong impulse. So that is kama, right? Here he is talking about two main things, kama and the krodha, where we have seen this shlokas before, right? Shloka number 59 and 60, chapter 2. Dhyayato vishayan punsaha sangasteshu pajayate sangat sanjayate kamaha kamat krodho bhijayate krodhat bhavati sammohah sammohat smriti vibramah smriti bramshat buddhinashah buddhinashat pranashyati. There, what did we say? That first of all, we will start to contemplate on the object. Somebody would have talked about it. Dhyayataha vishayam. We will just think about the object, then it will lead to desire, kamaha, then it will decide to krodhaha, anger, then it will lead to sammohaha, which is the clouding of the judgment, then smriti vibhramaha, it will lead to the memory loss, and buddhinashaha, the intellect will be destroyed, and pranashati, one whole life will be destroyed. So it is all will be in intensity, like slowly only it will start, like very light thought will be there. Then slowly kama, more force till you act on that thing. So that we have to check the force he is telling in the shloka. So this person, the shloka is telling the kama and the krodha, this force is, he is not being carried away by this. That's why he is happy. And then the next shlokas and all, he is going to talk about totally leave kama and krodha. Now he is just telling leave the force of the kama and krodha. 24 to 26, he is going to talk about jnana phala. So shloka number 24. Yontas sukhontara ramaha tathantar jyotirevayah sayogi brahma nirvanam brahma bhutodhigacchati. So here we will break it. Yontas sukhontara ramaha tathantar jyotirevayah. We will take out that half sub. What is moksha? Moksha is being happy in yourself. Atmanyevatmana tushtaha, that we saw shloka number 55 in chapter number 2. The person who is happy in himself. So that is the moksha, basically. Yontaha, yaha anta sukhaha. Yaha, the person anta sukhaha, he is happy in himself. The happiness which is inside, anta aramaha, he is enjoying with himself only. He doesn't need anything to enjoy. No food, no parties, nothing is needed for him. He can entertain himself from within. Tatha, that as well, anta jyotihi. So he is illuminated by the inner light. Inner light meaning the person has realized, like Dakshinamurti Stotram we saw, shloka number 4, Dakshinamurti Stotram. Janamiti tameva bhantam anubhatyetat samastam jagat. Knowing that this is the light within that illuminates everything else, that person is a realized person. Like that, this person is illuminated by the inner light. Anta jyotihi, antaha jyotihi. And then eva, certainly, yaha, this person, saha hi yogi, person is a yogi, brahma nirvana. He has Brahma Nirvana, meaning here the liberation from the material existence. Brahma Bhutaha, he is united with the Brahman, Adhigacchati, he attains. So those who are happy within themselves, enjoying the delight of Brahman within, are illuminated by the inner light. Such yogis are united with the Brahman and are liberated from this material existence. Because you are liberated from the material existence only, you are self-realized. And the quality of the person who is self-realized is the person who is liberated from the material existence. So nothing entices him, nothing outside entices him. Brahma Nirvanam means the Videha Mukti, or that you will not have another birth. Like that, Brahma Bhutaha means he is Purna Swarupam, that is, he has attained moksha while he is living. That is a Jivan Mukta we talked about. Adhigacchati, he attains. So shloka number 25. Here he is going to talk about the steps for realization. Labhante brahma nirvanam rishayah kshina kalmashah chinna dvaidhayakatmanah sarvabhuta hiterataah. Here we will break. Labhante brahma nirvanam rishayah kshina kalmashah. Rishayah kshina kalmashaha. Whenever there is ksha, you must say the visarga separately. Don't be tempted to join. We have to see it in actually another order. So I will just start with the explanation and then we will put everything together. So first stage is, what are the steps we must take to reach the moksha? Stage 1 is, we will see as this kshina kalmashaha. That is number 1. That means what? Whose sins have been purged or whose sins have been removed. How they removed their sins? The things we have already talked about. They removed their raga dvesha. How they remove their raga dvesha? By doing karma yoga. They got a purity of mind. When sorrow comes, they take it in the straight. When happiness comes, they don't go out of control. And then that is the karma yoga. Stage 1, Kshina Kalmashaha, where you are purged of all the things because of the samatvam and not having the raga dvesha. So that is stage 1. Then stage 2, what happens is Rishayaha. So these holy people have removed their sins and they have become the holy people. They have done the Shravana of the Shastras. They have listened to the, like how we are doing now, reading the Bhagavad Gita. Like that, they have listened to the Shastras, what has been told. That Atma is only Satyam and this whole world is Mithya, this Prapancham is Mithya. They have listened to it. So that is the stage number 2, Rishayaha. They have become holy by listening to such teachings. So that should be the second stage. And then third, stage 3 is Chinna Dvaidayatatmanaha. Chinna, that means it is annihilated. Dvaidaha, that is the doubts. So the doubts have been removed. That means what stage are we talking about is the manana. We said that karma yoga, then jnana yoga. Jnana yoga consists of 3 parts, we said. Shravanam, listening. Then after you have listened to all the scriptures, you will have some doubts. That you will clear. That is called the manana. That process where you clear the doubts is the manana. And the third step is the nididhyasana, where you will be established in that truth for what you learned. So that is nididhyasana. That is jnana yoga. So now in this sloka, stage 3, we are telling that chinna dvaidaha. That means that the doubts have been removed. After they did karma yoga, after they have listened to the teachings, their doubts have been removed. Stage 4, yatatmanaha, atmanaha. So whose minds have been disciplined, that is, they have done the nididhyasanam. They have again and again, they have contemplated on this truth. Whatever they have learned and their doubts were dispelled, that truth, they have dwelt on it. That is the nididhyasanam stage. And then what happens? Stage number 5 is Sarva Bhuta Hite Rataha. So this person, he works for the welfare of all the beings because he knows that there is only one thing, which is the Brahman. It is everywhere. He practices ahimsa. And then stage 6 is the Labante Brahma Nirvanam, where he will get the Brahma Nirvanam or he'll get the moksha. 6 stages we have seen in the shloka. Stage 1, Kshina Kalmashaha, where his sins were purged. This we equated to the Karma Yoga. Then Rishayaha, he has become a holy person. Why? Because of the process of the Shravanam, because he listened to the teachings. Stage 3 is Chinna Dvaidaha. That means his doubts were removed in the process called Mananam. And then the Yadatmanaha. That means he has done the Nididhyasanam. And Sarva Bhuta Hite Rataha. He has rejoiced in the other people's welfare. And then in stage 6, Labante Brahma Nirvanam. He got the moksha. Okay, now we'll see the meanings. Labante achieves Brahma Nirvanam, liberation from material existence. That we saw. Rishayaha, holy persons, which we saw as stage 2. Kshina Kalmashaha, sins have been purged because of Karma Yoga. Chinna Dvaidaha, his doubts were also removed. Yatha Atmanaha, whose mind was disciplined to the practice of Nididhyasana. Sarva Bhuta Hite Rataha. He worked for the welfare of all the living entities. And he rejoiced in it. So because of that, he reached the final goal of Brahma Nirvana. So the general translation is, those holy persons whose sins have been purged, whose doubts are annihilated, and whose minds are disciplined, and who are devoted to the welfare of all the beings, attain Brahman and are liberated from the material existence.